welcome to this Treasure Hunting Tuesday video. So I wanted to show you, I printed up the kits I'm going to use for this one, and I wanted to print up some extra Woodland Magic because I really want to put these leaves on this project, which I'm going to show you in a minute. So here's the kits that are being used for this project. I really love this Woodland Magic Kit, and the link is in the description box below. And these are the Vicki backgrounds I printed, and the link to this is below as well, to her shop. I went ahead and printed 2 of the same. And this is from Robyn's March Printables. Now her sheet comes white with like a cream, really light background, and then I have a Woodland Magic print over top of hers, so that's how I'm getting this background color. And then I'm using some of this architecture kit from Michael's. I got this little shelf at Goodwill, and you can pick these up all the time, and the little knob pulls it had were just glued in, so I pulled them out, and I got these knob pulls a very long time ago. These are some vintage knob pulls that I got a long time ago at an auction. So what I'm going to do is, I have found a drill bit that is slightly bigger. You want them slightly bigger than your screw if you have this style. Okay, and then I'm just going to drill these all the way through, and I'll show you how to do one. I actually added more light in here, and I'm still seeing shadows. I'm probably going to have to go back to my old setup. I'm going to try this one video and then edit it and see what happens. So you want to get your drill bit put into your drill. And then I'm just going to drill these while it's closed right here, just like this, because then all this sawdust will go right into the drawer. And once you get one, what you want to do, so much for all the sawdust going in the drawer, huh? Take that out real quick. And dump it in the trash. Keep your trash handy, of course, for this stuff. I found a lot of these little drawer sets over the years, and they're really fun to transform. They're a little time consuming, but not bad. So then you want to make sure your screw is going to go all the way through, just like so, okay? And then I'll be able to put that in. Now you can measure yours better than mine. See how mine's sticking out a little bit? I'm actually going to have to alter this because that is not going to work for this project. So what I'll do is just get some nuts and washers. So I'm going to get the top of this, and this top part here and this top part here and the sides all collaged, and I'm going to do a few of the drawers, and then I'll come back and do 1 or 2 of these with you just so that you can see the process, okay? So I will be right back. Okay, so I went ahead and did most of the drawers. I left one just to show you. Here's the before and after look of this. So I went ahead and used, like I said, all those kits in the beginning, except I did not use the architecture solid paper from Michael's on this. I changed my mind about that. And I also changed my mind and went ahead, let me move these. I went ahead and used a lot of my, wrong pile, get the right pile. I used a lot of my grunge papers from my gorgeous Grunge Kit 1. And I used one that looks very similar to this, and this is available now. I'll link all the kits below, and I'll link the March Printables for Robyn and all of Vicki Ross's background. I'll link it all below. But these papers here are from Gorgeous Grunge Kit 1. And they are, I'm going to try one more light. I hope that helps some. Okay. They are these papers right here. So I'm going to show you the whole thing in a minute, but let's go ahead and do this drawer. Also, I wanted to tell you, I've had kind of a bear of a time with these knob pulls. These are vintage knob pulls that I got at an auction. I think I already said that. And then I went and got shorter screws at the hardware store. So now I've just got this acorn nut in here, and that's all the space that is being taken up in the drawer. So I really like that a lot better because you don't want to be hitting that every time you're in and out of your drawer. And then I couldn't get the right length in brass. My hardware store only carried 1.5, 2 inch, 2.5. I needed 1 3/4 for this. So I couldn't get those. And so I went ahead and got the silver. I wanted the standard screwdriver slot because it looks more vintage than the Phillips. And then I just painted these with brown oxide paint. Let me grab it. You can use any color. I live pretty rural, so when I do go to the city, I'm gonna go to Home Depot and try to get some brass standard head screws, but again, I may run into trouble. So I just used this cheap apple barrel brown oxide. I've got all of my pieces and parts right here. I went ahead and picked out the papers. And let me show you this real quick again on this drawer. I just went ahead and left this bevel that cream color like I said I was going to, and I really like how it came out. You're going to see the whole little cabinet in a few minutes, but I really like how it showcases the collage. So you can literally collage anything. Now I am using my Mod Podge mat as always for my glue. Here's what it looks like. I show this in a lot of videos, and I have had a great it just works beautifully for me, and it worked beautifully for me in this project too. So here's what I've done. I've got my little knob pull in here. We'll set that aside. And then here's all of my little papers for this drawer. Now, these are so, I come across these constantly. They're really common, these little cabinets. And then you can come across old mirrors with a really ugly wood frame, and you can do this and you can really transform your pieces. This turned out to be a pretty darn big project. So, just know that you're going to have to put some time into it. The smaller the project, it seems like the longer it takes. Like I just did the May Design Team Challenge, and I did that bigger dresser, and the drawers were a little bit bigger, and that actually went a little bit faster than this one did because there's a lot more detail. I put more detail in this one. So more detail, more time, you know what I mean? It's just the way it is. Now, when you get something like this, you can totally go over the edge with your paper and glue it all the way over the edge. I just decided for this project that I did not want to do that I wanted to cut all my pieces down. So here's my backup piece, and this is out of Vicki Ross's Backgrounds printable kit, and I just love this. I love her kit. These are also from that kit. And what you can do, what I like to do is snap pictures. Like I'll put my little image together. This is roughly how it goes together. And then I will just snap pictures. And you want to keep in mind that you've got your little knob. So you want to remember that. And I've got this here. And then this is going to go like so. So let's go ahead and get this all done. Also, another fun thing you can do is, let me show you a good example. Here's a kind of a good example. Here's another little drawer. Now I've got the Robyn Mcclendon black graphics in a lot of these drawers. I like to mix torn and straight edges, and I put this straight edged sliver, tucked it under this here, and then I sewed all of these as a border. So I'm going to show you step by step how to go about doing that. And all my other drawers have a tiny bit of this Robyn Mcclendon graphics like this, but so I think I definitely want to put a sliver of this in here. Now I'm going to actually put it behind this one, so I want this piece to be a little bit bigger. That's the problem with doing this. All of your under stuff gets covered. So keep that in mind. And then these ended up magically, I did not do this on purpose, but they ended up fitting. See, that's a little short. So since it's a little short, I'm just going to make it even shorter. And then it's going to be a little weird behind there, but that's okay. That's going to give some interest. And then, of course, I already inked all of those pieces up. I definitely want these graphics because I have little slivers of these graphics on every other drawer. And another thing you can do that I like to do, let me finish inking this real quick and I'll show you. I just think it adds interest is sometimes I like to have a lot of floating pieces. Like this is torn all the way around, okay? So this is going to be anchored like that, and then this is going to kind of float here. But this one has a straight cut on both the top and the bottom. So that serves to anchor your piece. Okay, and now this one was not long enough to do the top and the bottom, but I left the bottom because it can anchor it to the bottom of your piece, and it just kind of grounds everything and doesn't make it so that your eye is bouncing all over the place with nowhere to land, which is another reason I left these borders solid, because I wanted the eye to have a place to rest. You want to think about that when you're doing your artwork. Okay, so the last thing I want to do is just start gluing these onto the drawer, because remember, I'm sewing all of these. So you want to cut your pieces to fit. Now a lot of these, this bottom piece was not long enough to go all the way across the drawer. So I edged it on one edge, and then I took this brown piece here that's torn, and I glued them together to make them fit to the right size. But this piece ended up being big enough. So what you want to do is take your piece. Now I already know that these are going to be on the edge, so they're the easiest. I've got my glue sheet. Now I like this. I want to talk about this real quickly. This is poster board, and it's the kind that's real shiny. You can get super cheap where it's like matte on both sides, like this piece I'm working on today. And you can get a little bit higher end poster board where one side is shiny, and actually I think both sides of this are kind of shiny, sheeny. But the reason I love using this, and I know a lot of you guys out there use the books, which is an awesome idea too, but I find that this works great for me because I can glue my piece, and you always want to have a paper towel handy. And I just run my glue because I want my edges done really well. I actually normally use a glue paintbrush. I just use a cheap brush for my glue, but I didn't want to dirty it up for this one little drawer, for this little bit we're doing here. So I'm just using a makeup sponge. But then what you do is you just wipe that glue off real quick after you glue it, and then that is this. I have had this glue sheet for, oh my gosh, I don't know how many projects, but a whole lot. I've had this glue sheet for probably over a year for sure. So I know that's going to be anchored. So, you know, this glue sheet, it just works for me. I really like how it works for me. And then you just want to run your paper towel. So it serves a couple purposes, of course. You seal everything down and you wipe off the excess glue, any glue that comes schmoozing out, okay? Now this is totally dry. See that? So I'm ready to rock. I hope I was in frame for all that, you guys. Oh, I get to looking down. I want to be close because in my marbling jelly print video, I was way far up and you could see all this desk space and very little of my work area. And so because I wasn't paying attention, I apologize. So trying to stay in frame here, and I used to tape my area off. I may go back to doing that because it kept me in frame. Arg. Okay, so I want to just dry that. It just works so well for me. I can put that right on there now. And I'm out of frame. There we go. Okay, Corey, get it together. Now this glue sets up really fast. I'm already having a bit of a struggle here. Oh, you know what? It didn't line up because I'm doing it wrong. Okay, this piece goes first. So let's do this correctly here. Okay. And most of these are printed on cardstock because I like a nice thick paper for my collage work when I'm doing any kind of furniture or little cabinets like this or anything like that. I definitely want thicker paper because it's just more durable, it holds up better. This is printed on a piece of printer paper because I printed this back in the March design team project because I was making a journal out of these pages and I needed them thinner. So they work just fine for this, but I just like the solidness and durability of cardstock for a lot of this work. And it's just because it's a cabinet, you know, it's something I'm gonna be in and out of. And also, these are inkjets. I think I said that. So this project is not sealed. And, you know, I got the greatest idea from one of my viewers to put matte medium on your gel plate, and then you can gently put your inkjet print down on your gel plate to seal it. But I will probably never do that because my gel plate is always dirty. And I prefer it dirty because I use those layers every time I go to jelly print. Those dirty layers become, this is how all of these came up, is those under layers on her jelly plate, on Vicki's jelly plate. So I just am not, I don't want to take the time to get my jelly plate completely clean and pristine. So if I had a new plate, I might just use it for that alone. But my plan is to, when you want to do something like this, laser prints are really good because you can paint right over a laser print and the ink won't go on you. So what you want to do then is, laser prints always have a little bit of a sheen on them. So if you want a matte finish, just get a matte sealer, and you can get the spray kind or the brush kind, because laser prints, your ink's not going to move on you like an inkjet print will. Okay? So that's the difference with that. All right, so I've got these last pieces now, covering up all that beauty underneath. I kind of want this a little further back. And again, guys, when I do collage, I actually took more time than I wanted to place in these pieces on this project. And I really do push myself to work fast when I'm collaging because I have more fun, first of all, and most importantly, I have more fun, okay, when I work faster. And this can really suck up a ton of time. This collage work can really, I mean, hours and hours can go by. So, and I love to spend hours and hours doing artwork, but at the same time, I like to get things completed. You know, I never struggle like this till I'm filming. Go figure, that's how it works. Okay, so you just take a dry part of your paper towel and go right down on that. See how I just wiped that and put this right on top and it's not sticking or anything? It just works well. And I really think that it's attributed to the poster board that has a bit of a sheeny side to it. So you're gonna want that. Okay, now I've got to remember as I'm placing my knob pull, and I keep saying that because I constantly forget. I'm more saying it to myself than I am to you. Okay, and then this is going to cover over top. I just want a sliver of this white jelly print showing just to kind of highlight the leaf. Okay, so that's where I want stuff. So that's pretty much center, okay? I did the majority of this project off camera because, you know, I know your time is valuable, just like mine is, and I know that you don't have hours to sit here. And another thing that I'm struggling with, for some reason, when I try to speed up my videos, I'm having problems with my software when I speed videos up, and it's not running properly, and it's really upsetting to me because I like to do a lot of this stuff on camera and then just speed it up and play music. So I may end up having to, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'll figure it out. I may have to get new software. Okay, so this is slightly askew here, which is fine. You just wanna grab your scissors wherever they are. Give that a whack. I like to, if that happens, I like to do it quick so that I don't forget. Oh no, okay. All right, and then whenever you wax something, that came out a tiny bit wonky, you want to ink it real quick. And I just do this as I go, because I already had all this inked. But anytime you cut that inked edge. Details, details. Okay, so there's that now. Throw on this little sliver here. Yeah, I have been bombarded with technical difficulties lately. I had to get a new camera, which was an expense that I was not expecting. Lots of adjustments, and in my quest to improve my videos, I made them worse with my new setup, which is quite upsetting to me because I spent quite a bit of money on lighting that's not working, and it's just the room I was trying to set up in is really dark. And okay, let's throw a little bit more on there. This back part here is painted. It's the other side of a jelly print. And it is just being kind of tricky, but it's okay. It'll work. I've been doing it through the whole project. But yeah, so, you know, live and learn that area. And I hear people talking about how they film at night, which I so want to do that. My whole point of trying to change everything around is because I am beholden to daylight the way I'm filming. I have a certain window during the day where the light is really good right here, in addition to a couple little studio lights. And then when that time passes, everything changes and my camera starts getting blurry, and oh, it's just so frustrating. I could just scream, I'm telling you. But I don't want to scream. I just want to have success. So, you know, I'm usually very good at, when something doesn't work, I abandon it in a hurry and I try something else. And I didn't do that with this new setup. I just kept messing with it. And it never got better. And I finally just, there's some dried glue. You want to watch out for that. it just never got better. So, oh my goodness, I don't know. All I know is I'm back here until I can figure something else out. The spaces that I have in my house to film are the light. I have such a challenge with, I don't have a space with really good light, so I'm constantly having to troubleshoot that, you know. And I'm really trapped in a really tight little space right here to work, so that I was trying to get away from that. But you know what? It's very important to me that you guys have a good experience, you know? And I feel that that requires monitoring and improvement on my part to make that happen. So bear with me, please bear with me, and thank you for bearing with me, because a lot of you guys, you know, that darn marbling video I did, what a fun project, and you could see it well enough, but it could have been a much better experience is the way I see it. So it's okay. You know, nothing is worth beating ourselves up over. That's a fact, absolute fact right there. Okay, so I've got this piece done now, and that took quite a little bit of time, in my opinion, to do that, but it's okay. So we're going to set this aside to dry, and I'm going to show you the whole cabinet. Drum roll, please. All right. I'll just do my own. Okay, this thing is pretty. All right, here's the front of it. Let me bring you back. Okay, so here's the front of how this came out, and I love it. I think it's really cute. It's going to serve as extra storage. And see what I mean about leaving all of that cream color there? It gives the eye a place to rest, and it showcases the collage work, I think, to great effect. And then here's the top. I did that little bit of collage work right there on the top with the leaf. And then here's the top of the top. And I left this to go along with the rest of it. And this is where I ended up on the top. And I'm going to leave it like this because my plan is I'm probably going to put a couple little decorative tchotchkes up here. So I didn't get too crazy with all of that. And then here's the sides. So whenever you're collaging now, you want to have, like on a project like this, a lot of your collage, you do want that straight edge, you know, and then you tear inside or whatever. So I always do, when I cut my papers or do my papers for it, I have a lot of straight edged papers. So now I've got these two leaves here that I want to put on the sides. So I just waited for you to do it. So let's go ahead and do that real quick here. I'm going to keep you a little far out just for this moment because this is going to go so lickety split. Just get this done in a hurry. These are so fun because you can take a really good boned piece that's, shall we say, not so attractive from Goodwill at a very inexpensive price, and you can bring that baby home and print up whatever printables you want to use, or hand paint some papers for it, or just paint the thing if you want to just paint the thing too. There's so many ways to fix a not so great piece. So I never let, and of course I just didn't like the style of this at all, you know, the way it was. Okay, and then you've got your paper towel. I am gonna keep working on my lighting, guys. Have no fear. I'm gonna keep working at it and keep, you know, improving my videos. It's important to me. So just hang in there. Okay, so there's that piece. Now I have this other gorgeous leaf. Let's gently flip this over. Here's the other side. I really love how Vicki's Printables, this is Vicki, and then this is my gorgeous Grunge Kit 1 right here. And I tore up the original, you guys, so this is original on here, woo! But I love how her and my Printables played off of each other. I think they really came out sharp together. So now I've got this leaf here. And I'm going to go ahead and put it there. That's the thing though, you lose so much of your undercoat. But I wanted this to be a little botanical inspired piece. So that's what it is, you know. And when you make stuff like this to sell, my best advice to you is make it the way you love it. Make it with your style, make it with your taste, and make it into a piece that you yourself would buy. Don't try to cater, unless of course it's a custom order and you have a custom palette or whatever, then that doesn't apply. But whenever you're making stuff like this to sell, I think it's really important to be passionate about all the artwork I do. And if I don't like something I'm making, chances are other people aren't going to like it either. So if you're in love with it, other people are going to be in love with it as well. So that's really my rule of thumb that I go by for my sale pieces. And you want to, you know, I do a lot of abstract art, and when I get a custom order, I tell people you can pick the palette and you can pick the general direction of the way a piece is going to go, but I retain artistic license because I can't get locked down too hard. If I get too locked down, then it becomes a job. It's not fun, and things don't come out the way you want them to. You know what I'm saying? So keep those in mind for your pieces that you're selling. Okay, and then there's those. I really love just that teeny tiny bit of botanical. And it's super subtle on this piece. Let me bring you in. I'm going to bring you in and show you each drawer real quick. And then I'm going to go sew the other one and we're going to finish this up. One of my favorite things in elementary school was show and tell. And my whole life being an artist is about show and tell. And I love that about YouTube because YouTube is so much, it's like this whole platform for show and tell, which just, oh my God, it makes me giddy with excitement. So let's have a little show and tell time. So here's this drawer, and I did another sliver of straight edged on here along with the torn edges. And I personally like that look. But if you don't like it, just tear everything. And if you don't like torn, just make everything straight. You can, artistic freedom is what we're looking for. So here's my little botanical here, and this too. Here's the next one. And I just did a tiny bit of botanical on each one. And then here's Robyn's really graphic, beautiful graphic one here. And there were a lot of different choices on this page, but I really stuck close to this one and one other one because I thought they worked really well. I love this background printable of Vicki's. It's got all this text in it and all those beautiful grunge colors. So let's go on to the next. Here's a sliver of that beautiful underpaints that she pulled up on her jelly plate. And then the stitching. I just really liked the stitching. I wanted this to look like these were all sewn onto the drawers. And I just think it looks cool. And then, you know, there's a level of simplicity to this too, which I kind of had to work too hard to achieve it, but it's okay. I like how it came out. So we've got the little Robyn Mcclendon and the art archaeologist grunge jelly here. 2 more to go, and then we'll finish up with our last one. I like how this sliver of botanical came out, and then here's this sliver of brown. Now this time I layered the green on top, and the other one I just showed you, I layered the brown on top, so you can play around with that too. This original jelly print has all of these under layers pulled up on it, and I just think it really adds to it. I love it. So fun. All right, here's the other really graphic printable I used of Robyn's, and I kind of liked it because I took this and I tore this side and then I cut this side straight, and it's 2 pieces of the same, so it kind of like encapsulates everything in between, and the mind is all, oh yeah, it goes together. So it keeps your eye in the piece. I think this serves really well to do that. So you can really have fun with your patterns and rip them apart and separate them out and then put them down. It's a really fun way to bring a lot of interest to your piece. So let me bring you back. All right, so this has had time to dry, and I put the glue on kind of generous, but it was a really kind of a thinner uniform coat, so it dried pretty quick. I'm gonna run a zigzag stitch around the edge of this, and then I'm gonna show you how we're just gonna glue it on, but I'll show you how to do the hole and all, and put the knob in real quick, and then we'll be done. Be right back. Okay, so here we are with this again. Now I just got it all stitched together. Let me move this so you can see how cute it is. I like this style. This one came out kind of stripy, but I like that. I planned it that way, and I think it really came out cute. So you just want to really put an abundance. This is the end of my other Mod Podge bottle, and there's a lot of chunks in here, so I don't let that stop me. I just pick them out as I go. I don't want to waste my glue. They just opened Hobby Lobby and Michael's here in Colorado. And so I was able to go to both of those the other day, and I spent a little more than I wanted to, but if everything shuts down again, I wanted to get a few extra supplies just to have enough stuff to be able to pull me through, because I mean, who would have ever thought that we would lose access to all, so many of our stores and so much stuff. I mean, who would have ever imagined this happening? I'll stay out of my opinions of it, because this is an art channel, not an opinion channel. You really want to go over that stitching big time, okay? And especially the edges outside of the stitching, because they tend to kind of get forgotten a little bit with this technique. Okay, pretty simple, straightforward thing. All right, and then make sure you're right side up. I'm just gonna take my paper towel and clean off. Let me get in frame. I hope I was in frame for the rest of it. I'm gonna have to go back to putting down markers so that I know when I'm in frame. So now if you cut your piece to fit, you just really want to make sure at this phase that it's all fitting nicely where it's supposed to be. Now this is, I'm gluing this on a painted surface, and there are layers of paper. I've got glue coming up through my stitch marks too, so you want to just make sure you use dry paper towel. And the nice thing too is I'll use 1 or 2 paper towels for an entire project, because it the glue dries and you can just keep reusing. I love my little glue system because I really try not to waste anything. If I can avoid wasting something, I will. I think we're all of that mind. You know, my grandma used to rinse off aluminum foil and reuse it, and it's kind of funny to me because all these people think, oh, we're so concerned about the planet and the health of the planet. Well, there are generations that have gone by that were very good at not wasting, you know, and all of the packaging. It's quite upsetting today, all the packaging. I saw some napkins and disposable knives and forks and spoons made out of avocado seeds, of all things, if you could imagine that. Totally biodegradable. What a cool idea. And here we are still with all this plastic packaging. I don't know. It's probably really expensive to do avocado seeds. I don't know. But I think we can just keep finding better ways of doing everything we do, right? Okay, so there's that now. And you really want to hold this down for, it takes a few minutes on something like this just to make sure it doesn't move on you. And then I have been just taking a paintbrush. It's not as big as the hole for the drawer. Where is it? I'm not even on the right spot. There we go. And then I've just been poking it through, and it's worked so beautifully every time until I get on camera, of course, right? Might have to use something a little bit sharper. There it goes. And then I just circle it around in there, and it opens that straight up, and it gives you the added benefit of pushing the paper down in. Now I got a little white mark there. So just come in with your ink if that happens. Okay, and I've got my little drawer pull here. It's so funny because when I'm filming, I want to reveal the project and show you the masterpiece. But what's funny about that is I usually put a picture of the project on the thumbnail to entice you to even watch it to begin with. So I forget these things. It's so fun. It's just funny to me. What can I say? Okay, so there's my little acorn nut in there. And now what I've been doing is making sure that they're all straight and in alignment. And you can adjust this from the acorn back here, see that? So just get it finger tight and then hold it down and tighten it as much as you can, and that's good. Okay, let's back up and look at the whole thing now. All right, so here's this really cute little Robyn Mcclendon, Vicki Ross, art archaeologist cabinet. But look at what you can come up with. I paid $4 for this at Goodwill, and now it's a mini masterpiece, and I'll be able to use this for years and years to come. And you know, I was getting a little picky about the knob pulls and thinking, I don't know if I like those, but I actually really do like these on here. I'm gonna leave them. And if you ever get a chance to go to an auction, you can find so many treasures. I used to have a couple antique booths for quite a number of years, and so I was at auctions all the time. And you can just find little treasures like this constantly. But if you don't have auctions in your area, or it's not something that you can attend, you can find these online, of course. And then if you're in the US, or if you have access to shopping on Hobby Lobby, they have a wide array of knob pulls, really, really nice ones. So there's, you know, sky's the limit. You just got to be, you know, I always look at myself as a very resourceful person, and everything I want to get accomplished, I put my focus there and it happens. So just, you know, I did not plan this out. If I would have planned it out a little better, I might have picked something a little bit different than this. But so you might want to, you know, plan your project from start to finish. I rarely do that. 95% of the time it works out, 5% of the time it doesn't. So it's totally up to you how you want to do it. But I hope you pick yourself up something like this. And remember, you can do mirrors, you can do all kinds of things, dresser drawers. I have a dresser that I got at an auction. And it's ugly and it doesn't even really have good bones. So that's why I haven't done anything with it. But I use it. So I may do that one, I may not. We'll see. So if you haven't subscribed yet, I really invite you to subscribe and hit the bell notification. I'm doing Treasure Hunting Tuesdays now, and that's all different kinds of art topics and finishes. I find treasures and I share them with you. Okay, and then I've also got excavations. Right now we're in my very first excavation, which is the jelly printing excavation, and I have marbling on your jelly plate out right now. And then I'm also doing the monthly Robyn Mcclendon jelly team project. So, and then she does a new printable kit every month, and us girls, we all get together and we each do our own project, so you get to see all these different ways of doing things. And then I link everybody's stuff below on the design team projects. I link all their links below, and for this one, all of these kits are linked below here, and I really hope you do something like this. It's a blast, and then you have a little treasure forever. Okay, have a great day, and I will see you next time.